Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I think there's no secret that I have a kind of affinity towards people who are strong and stay the course and face the consequences of their actions with courage and boldness. Not that kind of boldness, but And one of these nations is Serbia and Croatia. But in this case, I have Serbia. And I think Serbia was done an injustice. That's my assessment. I think I can have my own assessments of what's wrong is what's right. That's why we are free people, right? Yeah. So what happened? At one point, which was about 3 weeks ago, I had some doubts on Aleksandar Vucic, the president of Serbia, who seemed to cave in front of Brussels and Washington's pressure into bending the knee towards Kosovo via Brussels and so on. But I think he would be lynched if he would do such a thing and if he shows up again in Serbia. And he now changed, or not changed course, came back to where I thought he wanted to go. Remember what happened in the parliament when he came and said that we have tough choices to make, and if we don't choose Brussels and the European Union, these guys are going to impose sanctions on us, and we're going to be screwed, and we're going to be dead, and extinction, and so on. And then people started, elected officials started fighting the parliament and all that. And I think he got the message, Vucic, and said, shit, I don't think so. Anyway, that's just my interpretation, but the point is now he's back in business, saying that he will not recognize Kosovo's independence. He was supposed to, because it's out of pressure on Serbia. Now let's read these two articles. I'm going to have three of them, but two are about the same subject. The other one is a preamble. That's just the beginning. So let's start with this one from the Teller report. Now I found this one because I was looking at actually Al Mayadin and this one, and this is the article I was looking for. Serbia will not recognize Kosovo's independence, Vucic, from the 3rd of January 2023. Over there is already the third, not the third like the poop, third like the first, second, third, but since English is my 15th language, I am allowed to butcher it, and some people might think it's even sexy, if you can believe that stupidity. Anyway, what can you do? After so much propaganda done on these people, they don't even know what's up and what's down. All right, so this one comes from a Teller report while I was looking for the other one, and I found this. Serbian president pledges not to recognize Kosovo as long as he is in office. Here he is. Serbian President Aleksandar Vucic has vowed never to recognize Kosovo after refusing to sign an EU-backed deal to normalize, meaning doing what you guys want me to do, relations between the two former foes. Serbian President Vucic has vowed never to recognize Kosovo after refusing to sign and the leaders of Serbia and Kosovo met in Brussels last Monday after intense pressure from the European Union to agree on a plan that sets out the framework for possible normalization of relations and effective recognition of Kosovo by Serbia. I don't think so. Now, despite reassurances from European officials that about the green light from both sides for a preliminary agreement, and that was like, oh my God, Vucic, the talks did not lead to a conclusion as Pristina and Belgrade took responsibility for the stalemate and stressed that many points remain outstanding. And the Serbian president turned to public opinion on Tuesday night by declaring that he would never recognize Kosovo and had no intention of helping the region join the United Nations. Well, if you have to say that, that means some people put you in their scope. And quote, as long as I'm president, I will not sign or accept formal or informal recognition of Kosovo as its accession to the United Nations, end quote, he said in a statement broadcast by Serbian television. I found out while reading another article a while ago that actually Aleksandar Vucic, he was a minister of some, I don't want to say defense somewhere, during the 1999 Serbian war. illegal attack by the nation country's defensive alliance. You remember the bombardments 1999? But I don't know, because he doesn't look that old, but I think I saw it. He was a minister to I don't know if it was defense minister or something like that. He was not a defense minister, that's for sure, but in the defense or the intelligence or something like that. So I think he's got time to remember what happened then. But on the other hand, if you remember, then President Slobodan Milosevic was and handed over to Brussels by Serbs. So who are those? Where are they? Are still alive? If you know what I mean. Anyway, let's go back to this article here. Alexander Vucic announced that he was ready to discuss other issues, but only if Kosovo agreed to create a federation of Serb-majority municipalities that would give Kosovo Serbs some form of autonomy. I am open to of everything else, not only because it will help us move forward on the European path, but also because it is beneficial for relations between Serbs and Albanians, he said. Recognition is a condition of any agreement. But Kosovar Prime Minister Albin Kurti believes that any agreement must stipulate recognition in one way or another of Kosovo's independence. Serbia refuses to recognize Kosovo, which is predominantly Albanian, and declared its independence from it in 2008. A new meeting of the leaders, sponsored by European, is scheduled for March 18th in North Macedonia. Not South Macedonia? So which one is Alexander's? North Macedonia or South Macedonia? Such idiots. I'm telling you that. That was the whole thing. Oh, not both can claim Alexander the Great. The issue of Kosovo continues to occupy the attention of about 6.7 million Serbs who consider this region the national and religious cradle of their country. 6.7, okay. I wasn't sure how big Serbia is. I think it was like 9 million, but many members of the Serb minority in Kosovo, they number 120,000, refuse to declare their allegiance to Pristina with encouragement from Belgrade, especially in northern Kosovo, near the border with Serbia, which witnesses frequent clashes, demonstrations, and sometimes violence. Right, let's go to Al Mayadin. And I'm going to go to this one right here. See this one? West blackmailing Serbia to impose sanctions on Russia. Ambassador, let's go to this one first. And this is from 28th of January 2023. Serbia in action looks to preserve sovereignty through its independent stance. Sanctions. It says West blackmailing Serbia to impose sanctions on Russia. Russia's ambassador to Belgrade, Alexandra Botsan Kharchenko, reiterated that the West is blackmailing Serbia to join the EU in imposing sanctions against Russia over the war in Ukraine, at a time when Serbia has refused to join the draconian sanctions on Moscow. And then we're going to go back to, not where we came from, but to this one right here. To Serbia will not recognize Kosovo's independence, Vucic. This is from March 1st, 2022. Serbia's president, where was the other one? March 3rd. How is it possible? I'm going to go back to it. What? Let's see. Was it March 3rd here? Where was it? The date? No, it was March 1st. I read it like differently. Because, you know, I'm in between Europe reading of dates and, or Europe, American and like other places. For instance, this is where I'm from, is the day of the month comes first, and then it comes the month, and then it comes the year. In the United States of America, it comes the month first, and then it comes the day of the month, and then the year. So when you have like this kind of one-digit numbers, you sometimes get confused which one is which, because I'm still, you know, under the Romanian influence of reading it 3rd of January 2023 instead of March 1st. But hey, like, it is what it is, right? Serbia's president said the EU threatened Belgrade to accept the EU's proposed terms to normalize relations with Kosovo. I expect that, so no. So I do not want to and cannot discuss mutual acceptance or Kosovo's UN membership, I'm quoting Vucic. I am willing to negotiate everything else, Vucic says, noting that he previously discussed this matter with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and French President Emmanuel Macron. Serbia's leaders also revealed that the European Union has threatened to isolate Serbia and pull out all investments if the proposed Kosovo agreement was discarded. So this is when he panicked, I think, and I was like, what are you doing, Vucic? You kind of veer towards somewhere where I think your life might be in danger if you return to Serbia. And I don't know what, but you see, this is the way it works with the free countries. The free countries, it seems like the Europeans act in the same way as the Americans. As I say many times, the United States of America lost the ability to negotiate and lost the ability of using diplomacy, because after 1991, that's when they lost it. 1991, after the balance, the counterbalance of its power, which was Soviet Union, collapsed. So it remained alone. And you remember that saying, if you want to find out who a person really is, give that person power and you're going to see. Why? It's not like, oh man, Gigi changed. Since he's got promoted, he changed. No, he didn't change. That's him. He just shows you more of what really he is, what he really is. And it didn't change. I mean, he changed with what he was faking before, but now he gives you more. And more power, he's going to have less incentive to hide. He's going to do whatever he wants because nobody can oppose him. So the same with United States of America. I'm not saying if United States of America would have collapsed, Russia would have been, saints. No. Or, Russia, Soviet Union. You see, they still Pavlovian, conditioning to say Russia when actually it's Soviet Union. Yes, Ukraine was in the Soviet Union too. So remember, Stalin was not Russian, Trotsky was not Russian, Kaganovich was not Russian, Lenin was not Russian, Yagoda was not Russian, what's his name? Khrushchev, I think he was half he was Ukrainian, something like this. So anyway, that's why it's like, it was not Russia, it was Soviet Union. Yeah, Russia might have had the land and blah, blah, blah. But if you look at the leaders, there's no Russians. Anyway, they were later. Brezhnev and Andropov were Russians. The little weasel, what's his name? Gorbachev was Russian. But weaklings. How would you call that? Dead limb. Anyway, so I thought that Vucic will give in. And as I said, the Americans have now 4 tools in their diplomatic toolbox or diplomacy toolbox. That's threats, blackmail, regime change, and invasion or bombardment. And it seems like the Europeans, if they think they have this, they don't have this. Well, they have this. You know what I mean? But they think, why? They have this compared with others that have, I'm tougher than you, But the big guys over there across the Atlantic. So when they have the opportunity to be tough, like let's say bully a 6.5 million people country, landlocked by the way, with all lovers around them, then of course you can afford saying, we're going to blackmail you. If you don't sign this, we're going to do this to you. Threats and blackmail, there you have it. They can't invade because they're weak. They will invade as courageous as they are, always in packs. That's what they do, because courageous people attack in packs. And, always cowardice is solitary, like Russia. Anyway, or in this case, Serbia. Yeah, Serbia, keep your national identity and conscience intact and don't be weasels like, Romanians. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.